This one is a set review called the Duelist. Now, this set review again is by popular demand. I think the cards that I'm calling out now, these are the 10 best cards that I'm hearing from the Yu-Gi-Oh community are the best to grab. So instead of buying the set itself, this is what you want to go trade for. These were based off of playability, not just for now, but later on in the future. With this card rank being the best, being even splashable, so it's more like most utility. Number one, the list would be the cover card, Firewall Dragon, infamous Firewall. Every protagonist from Yugi with his Dark Magician has so much themes around it, to Jaden with your Neos, and then we had Yusei that has Stardust Dragon. It's crazy. But Firewall Dragon is really one of those cards that you can splash in a link format, which is by far broken. The plays that you can do with this card, you can have 3 copies of it. I've seen some crazy combos. I've done some crazy combos while learning link format, especially with Infinities. So this card by far is the best card in the set to get. I agree with that, it being number 1 on the list. The playabilities are endless with it. It being a link 4 with 2+ effect monsters. So it may seem hard to get into it, but actually it's relatively easy if you understand how to do it. So and it's like you can do Deco Talker and another monster to go into it. So there's multiple ways you have access to this card. Number 2 on the list would be Mrs. Radiant. I won't say it's probably the second best card in the set. Well, I might change that. I actually think it might be. But the proper majority, because of how the meta is dictated, and this was made from an old card where its effect is pretty good. Earth-type monsters gain 500 attack, and Wind-type monsters lose full 300 or 400 attack defense. Or that works. And also when the card is destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, go to the graveyard, you can add an Earth type monster back to your hand. So if it goes to the graveyard, it can add itself back. So, and it's a link to Earth monster. So the playability of this card is endless. You can do it using spam rank 4 decks with mostly warriors, because most spam rank 4 decks have, besides Teleknights, because they're all light, are mainly consist around Earth. So this card I can see going out later on in the future to get a lot more playability. Number 3 is the infamous Spellbook of Knowledge. I like when this card is placed. It's a power creep card. It can be used in multiple ways. It can be used in straight up spellbooks, or it can be used in an invoke type of theme deck, because you can either send a spellcaster from your hand or from the field. I'm quoting the card off the top of my head, and send to the graveyard and draw 2 cards. So, and it's only can be used once per turn. A D draw, a +2 draw, it's really good. It thins out your deck. You can put up multiple copies and it won't be bad because you have a play for the next turn. Any card that literally sets you up where, oh, I can draw 2 more cards my next turn, it's really good. So it's and it's also it's the thing is it's a versatile card. It's playable. Just want to round that off. Number 4 was Trickstar Reincarnation. I have yet to feel this card's blood, but I've seen a lot of people, like, there's a set combo where, like, for instance, this card says when your opponent has a card to their hand, they banish the entire hand and then draw the same number of cards that was banished. But you use a combo, like you combo it with Joel and Lockbird, which would be, if any, after a card resolves where the opponent adds cards from their hand outside of their draw phase, they can't add cards back from the deck to their hand. So let's say, for instance, you activated Pot of Desires, and you banish 10 cards, you draw 2, you activate Trickstar Reincarnation, still in the activation, still you tell Joel and Lockbird. Joel and Lockbird resolves, your opponent banishes their hand Reincarnation, they attempt to draw, they cannot draw because Joel and Lockbird is on previous finishing. So with the Pot of Desires plus the 2 cards they just draw, your opponent just went minus 17 off of 2 cards. So that's a plus 15. That's a plus 15 for your opponent and a minus 17 for you. For them. Oh man, that is very, very scary. And the fact that in the Trickstar Architect, that is a searchable card. And also the ability it can banish itself and special summon a Trickstar from the graveyard. Yeah. That's stupid. And it's not limited. You can activate multiple in the same tree. That's ridiculous. So the playability of this card, I can see a lot of players just playing this card because you, instead of it being a card destruction, it's a card destruction of macrocosmos. If you do the combo, I mean that's retarded. So Degenerate. That's number 4 on the list. Number 5 was Heavy Storm Duster. It's Twin Twister without a cost. Well, let's not say it's a cost where really gonna activate this during your opponent's turn. And let's say you're playing artifacts, I feel like this card will get a lot more play in an artifact based deck because being able to target, it's like double cyclone, but it's better. Because with double cyclone you need another card for you to use it, but this card says up to 2. So it's, I can see this taking a maybe 1 to 2 copy in a main deck later on, starting now in the format, and Twin Twister taking a backseat in the sideboard. Because the meta isn't predominantly fast, like 2 turns and you're dead. It's predominantly gonna dictate being slow, not slow pace, but it's gonna be at a medium speed. Like the game could go past 4 turns, and it's they're gonna turn into a grind because spirits are still around. Number 6 was Rescue Ferret. Now this card is, again, like I said, these 10 cards was based off a poll, and this is what the community came back and said. They feel like Rescue Ferret is a sleeper card that might not be great now, but later on in the future, it's going to be a card that needs to be revered to one. Because the only rescue card that's been printed that hasn't really been busted is Rescue Hamster. But we had Rescue Cat, Rescue Rabbit, no say. I mean, there's 4 rescue monsters, but Rescue Rabbit's at 1 for a reason on the balance, and Rescue Cat is spinning rabbit. So its predecessors, it did its job. Rescue Hamster didn't really see the type of playability that the other guys did, but Rescue Ferret ability, it could do some really dumb stuff. 1 card can bring out three cards, and he can use it into a link. And that goes into number 7 on the spot, which is Topologic Bomber Dragon, which is a link 4 monster. It's a fact off the top of my head, I know if like any monster would be summoned. It's a dark hole. And any monster, and it's 3,000 attack, any monster that literally says dark hole the board, that anything that's not linked, it's something to be very wary of. I won't say it's degenerate, but I can see becoming later on as a staple in something monster that can literally just answer opponents. Like if your opponent, it's like another Exeter Knight, but this one is just a dark hole. So it's I can see it being a really good card later on, and I can see where it landed on the spot. Number 8 is Ib, the World Chalice Priestess. Now, due to popular demand, this card, a lot of people feel like this card shouldn't be this high, and a lot of people say it's not the best World Chalice card. I beg to differ. There are some crazy combos where you can use in Zodiac, especially with this card. Like there's a few combos I found out just playtesting. Like scrap your head off of this one. If you're playing like a Zodiac, or you're playing any deck up until now, Gofu and Predaplant Scorpio equals this type of board. You'll have a Mrs. Radiant in the extra card zone, a Dryden in the other extra card zone that's pointing to, a Ib pointing, and you have 2 other cards that from extra deck could be like Diesel Emerald or anything else. But the reason why this card is so versatile is because it may say 2 different type monsters and attributes. It's not that hard. because the card itself, whatever Lix is pointing out to, those cards kind of get stripped. 1800 attack, yeah, it's relatively not, it's strong, but it's still really good where it can impact and give you 2 extra monster zones and protect those monsters from destruction. So that's really good. Playability of this card is really great. Number 9 would be the Twilightlightsworn Sorceress. We know from the previous Lightsworn archetype that Lumina is the Sorceress and she's the leading candidate. Players believe that Lumina, the lights, like, I find it kind of weird that she's ranked this low on the list, and even Rescue Ferret was ahead of her. But again, this is based on the community says, and they've, like, the playability of this card is good, but the utility of this card is only basically to a mill deck. It can only be used in that sense, and I can understand that, so that's why it's ranked so low. It's about, like, again, this list was based off of versatility and how you can utilize the card in multiple ways. So that's number 9. Number 10 was really funny. It's called Relinquished. Now this is it's a rare. It's a dinosaur and it's 1900 attack. Starting off the bat, when this monster battles a monster in the extra monster zone, it gains either 500 or 800 attack in the damage calculation. So, I didn't even know about this card. Players brought it to my attention because they were saying that this card, dinosaurs, or somewhere, it can be searched out for soul over eating raptor. Fossil diggings at 3. It can be special summoned out for Babysaurus, or Petrodon. So there's multiple ways this card can be used. It can even be used in Dino Rapid. Because the utility of this card is 1900 coming off the bat, and swinging into a monster and an extra deck monster, it can go toe to toe in damage calculation. So it can be a 1 card out to pretty much anything that's annoying, but it's only, like I said, only used in a deck that is primarily Dinosaur run. So honorable mention to be like United Front. That didn't make the list, unfortunately. That kind of caught my attention. Some of the Vindred cards, like the Ritual and the monster itself. But again, overall view from what I heard about this set is it's as an intro set into the new linking mechanic compared to like the Duelist Genesis that introduces synchro summoning, and Duelist Alliance that introduces into the new pendulum mechanic. This is probably one of the weakest sets that we've gotten in recent memories, including with the versatility of how many cards have come out. Because if you remember from Duelist Alliance, we had that's Pendulum Dragon. We had that whole Quillport nonsense coming out in Duelist Alliance. She came out with at the time, Stardust Dragon. Firewall Dragon, it's on our level of being ridiculous, but the support of the set itself is not as strong due to majority or society's belief. So again, this list was based off of the poll that was made. This your boy Ruth signing out. Yeah.